Welcome back, guys. We are continuing on with the e-bike build, and today we're going to be covering torque arms. In the last video, we covered the washer and spacer arrangement for a rear hub motor, and if you guys are interested in checking out that video, you can click the link up here. Otherwise, today's topic is torque arms, and if you're new to e-bikes, you've probably heard the term torque arm, and you may not know what it is, what it does, and why you need one. So we're going to be covering all those topics today, and we're going to get started first with the physics behind torque arms and why you need them. Okay, so we're sitting here in front of the e-bike and we're on the disc brake side with the rear hub motor already installed, and there's no washers or nuts installed on the axle. Now, most bikes here have this open slot to allow for the axles to pop in and out very easily, but this doesn't work so well for an e-bike because of the amount of torque some of these hub motors can produce. So just very basic physics here. We have this rear hub motor, which is trying to turn the bicycle wheel in a counterclockwise direction. And in order for it to drive that bicycle wheel here in the counterclockwise direction, it has to apply a force on the frame through the means of this axle in a clockwise direction. So it's actually trying to twist this axle clockwise in this direction here. The bicycle frame holds it in place and the wheel goes counterclockwise, pushing us forward. Now this is great and everything, but if you have a bicycle frame, like I said, with this open slot, what can happen under high load is that there could be enough torque applied to the bicycle frame that it actually starts to spread this slot a little bit, and it provides the opportunity for the axle to fall out, which is pretty scary at high speeds, and we definitely don't want that happening. So that's sort of the basic physics behind what's going on here, and of course why you're going to need a torque arm. But so what does the torque arm actually do? The general concept here behind the torque arm, like this one here, is that it actually closes the slot first of all, so there's no open slot where the axle would slide through, and so you can see on the bottom it's closed. And then the other purpose of the torque arm is to redistribute some of that force elsewhere on the frame. So right now, like I was saying, this is an aluminum bicycle frame, and aluminum is more prone to this happening than a steel frame, but the majority of the load, well actually all the load right now, is right on this slot, and that's what's trying to hold the axle in place. And by using a torque arm, if I can get that to slide on, we're going to take that load and we're going to distribute it elsewhere on the frame. And that way it's a shared load, and it doesn't allow the slot here to open up and the axle to drop out. And we've actually, like I said, closed off the portion here where the axle can slide out. And so on my frame on this side of the bike, conveniently I have two bolt holes here that are on a pretty beefy portion of the frame that actually mount my disc brake caliper. And so I've removed those bolts, and if you check out my torque arm here that I designed, there's actually space here, those two larger holes on top, for the torque arm to get bolted right to the frame up here. So now it's a shared and distributed load between the bicycle frame here and the bicycle frame up here, and it's going to be much stronger. Now we're on the chain and sprocket side of the bike, and you can see here that I have a torque arm partially installed on this side, and the reason for that is that I'm still working on this one here, but the same concepts apply where you have the hub motor trying to turn in a clockwise direction, and that's going to create a counterclockwise torque on this axle, which again is going to try and spread the bicycle frame and have this axle drop out. So you can see the commonalities here between this torque arm and the one that I showed you on the other side. So the bottom here is closed, but the sort of unfortunate or non-ideal thing about this side of the bike is there isn't a point to mount very easily to like there was on the other side with the caliper mount. And the big advantage of the caliper mount on the other side was that it was much farther away from the axle than anything here that I have to easily connect to. And so if you guys know anything about torque and some of the basics behind torque, if you're trying to resist a torque, it's much better to do that from a point farther away from the center of rotation than it is from a point closer. These closer points here will have to work much harder to resist that torque than something like the brake caliper mount on the other side of the bike. So that's why this is a little less than ideal on this side here, but this should work. These torque arms that I made are made from a 1/4 inch thick stainless steel, and so that thickness of stainless steel should not be able to be sort of torn apart here by the hub motor. And the hub motor is only a 1500 watt hub motor, and I'm only probably going to push about 40 or 45 amps through it. So it's not going to be too crazy of a setup, and definitely should not tear through a 1/4 inch of stainless steel on both sides of the bike. And so that's one suggestion I have for you guys looking to set up a more powerful e-bike, is definitely create a torque arm for both sides of the bike to be safe and sure that your axle is not going to drop out of your bicycle frame. So now we have a better understanding of torque arms and why you would need one. The big question though is, where do you get one for your particular application? Now, the first and cheapest option and easiest option is just go online and buy a universal torque arm. These things are cheap and plentiful. You can probably even find them on eBay for a couple bucks coming out of China. And the concept here is that of course they interface with your axle, and then they use a hose clamp to redistribute the load to another portion of the frame, as we discussed earlier. Personally, I don't feel like a hose clamp is secure enough for me on my e-bike, but it's been known to work for some lower power applications, so you might be able to get away with it. Your second option, which is going to be a little harder to find and probably a little more expensive, is a custom torque arm for your bike. Now you can buy these, of course, on e-bike websites, or you might even find someone who's done an e-bike build with your particular donor bike and they're willing to share that design with you. Just go on e-bike forums, go on Reddit, something like that, and you'd be surprised what you can find out there, and people are very generous and willing to share. You just go to your local machine shop with those design files and they can water jet cut or laser cut it, or even just mill it out of a 1/4 inch piece of steel, stainless steel, whatever you desire. And that's going to cost you a little bit more money, but it's going to be way better than a hose clamp. Now your third and final option, if you're riding, say, more of an obscure bike that nobody's designed something for, or you just like doing things yourself, you of course can design your own torque arm. And it's really not that daunting of a task. You're going to need two very simple tools to get started, and that's going to be a caliper and something to find angles. You're going to use these two things here to measure the dimensions of your bike, and of course measure the dimensions of your axle. Just figure out a very general design, find some place to leverage off of. Like I said, with my bike on the one side, I was able to use the disc brake mount, and so those together will sort of give you a general layout of the torque arm, and then you can draw that up on whatever software you have access to. Now online, you can find Google SketchUp for free, and that's a great program to start with. You can take that design and then you can print it just on paper, regular printer paper, but the key here is to obviously print it to scale. Then you can use a hobby knife, you can cut that design out, and you can actually mount the piece of paper right to your bike to verify some of the dimensions. This is actually the exact process that I went through, and it worked great. Now I have a 3D printer, so I went the extra mile here of printing off the first design. This is actually the first iteration of my torque arm, and of course it's made out of plastic, so it's not actually functional, but I was able to verify my dimensions and my measurements with this 3D printed part. And then from there I was able to move on to the final stage of actually having it manufactured out of steel. So this is what I did. I just went to my local machine shop. I had them actually water jet cut this out of stainless steel. It's a 1/4 inch thick, and I would definitely recommend going with a 1/4 inch, no less. You could go thicker if you want, but I would really imagine that if you're using a 1/4 inch steel, the thing's not going anywhere unless you get into a crazy powered e-bike. But 1/4 inch, at least at minimum, is gonna work great for you. And this thing just cost me a few bucks. My local machine shop doesn't even have a minimum charge. And yeah, it was a couple bucks. Took me maybe half an hour or whatever to design. Super easy. So that's the general idea behind designing your own torque arm. And I hope this video was informative for you guys and inspire you guys to play it safe and of course install a torque arm or two on your e-bike to prevent any unfortunate accidents. If you guys would like to continue following along with this e-bike build and some of the tips and tricks that I have as I progress through the build, definitely hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it, and definitely check out my other videos. Thanks for watching, guys.